Hey, I want to thank Puggers Video Production for producing Yaz Animation Podcast. Today, I'm in their beautiful studio in Burnaby, BC. If you want to create videos that really stand out, please check the website down here. So my first question is, how many jobs you have?
I know.
You're a DJ, model, working mom, and you also manage your children's dancing and
momager.
and acting. Is a modeling career?
Yeah, each one of my kids is, acting, modeling.
How is this possible?
Well, we were just talking about it. A good team. Good support system for sure. Yes, I am juggling and managing as best I can with my own gigs with DJing, also my daytime job, working at Kasama, and then also momaging. So managing my two kids and their activities and their extracurricular activities. And the only way that that's possible is having a supportive family like my husband. He's my number one fan. He will watch the kids if I have a late night. My mom, my sister. Yeah, so.
Yeah, you are a classic hardworking mom, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have too many options, right? I mean, we both live in this beautiful place called Vancouver, but it's also one of the most expensive cities on the planet, right? So you got to do what you got to do.
You mean being born and raised in Vancouver? I didn't know that when I got older, in order to survive, you needed to become a millionaire, right? So in the 45 years, I've seen the city change. It's obviously when I was younger, I didn't expect that. But.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know anything about
it. I just knew I was living in a beautiful city, but the rest of the world caught on. So.
And I believe that, all these sacrifices are paid off. Mainly because you're doing it for your family, right? Your family well-being and future. Does that come from your parents? Like maybe that was the way you were brought up by them?
Ooh. Yes and no. Yes, because being a child of immigrant parents, mind you, their story is a little different. They met when they both immigrated to Vancouver, so they didn't know each other. Usually the story is, my parents met in the Philippines and then they immigrated here together so that they can give a better life for their children. My parents actually met in Vancouver. But I think the basic story is, even individually, they wanted to come here for a better life for themselves. And then with that came a better life for their children. I think we're the same in that regard. The difference might be, I guess, I think the common story is that our parents work really, really hard to be able to provide for their children. Maybe they are working multiple jobs. We grew up not seeing them that often. Their definition of love is what we've given you, what we've provided for you. And then me being a first generation, being born and raised in Vancouver, and I'm seeing similarities with other kids of immigrant parents. It's a little bit different in the sense that we are a little bit more present. But I do understand that times are different. Like our parents had to hustle to provide. We're from here, so we're hustling in a different way. And the way that I guess provide a better life for my children is to be a little bit more present, showing love in different ways, like actually saying I love you, being physically affectionate, and then also supporting their dreams. Another common story amongst Filipinos is that we were raised, introduced to music and art and all that stuff. And then, but not being supportive in the sense that if we wanted to take it seriously, for it to become, a way to support ourselves, which, can be a little confusing. So
I think so.
You give us this gift. Like I started in ballet. I danced at Go Ballet, and it was the one thing that I loved and I was really good at. And I really did see myself being a prima ballerina when I got older. And then my parents taking that away from me because they just didn't see that as a way to make a living, I guess. So in seeing early gifts in my children, from my oldest, Knox, seeing a really early gift in him of dance, and my younger one, Koa, seeing an early gift of him in singing, I'm just trying to nurture them as much as possible.
Oh, I get it. Back to your parents. When did they move to Vancouver? Do you know? You know that? Is that when there were like a lots of Filipino people coming as migrant workers? That was like probably late
So both my parents
80s
were.
or early 90s.
Oh, this was like
Wasn't even
late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s.
Okay.
And even before that. So both of my parents were sponsored by their siblings. So my dad's older sister was already here. My mom's older
Oh,
sister.
they came first. Okay.
Yeah. And then my mom's older sister was already here. And how my mom's older sister got here was she was sponsored by her aunt. So there was already people that were here before them. Yeah, I think mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
Because I was born in 1980. So.
Okay. But we still get to see like Filipino families that one family member comes first. And then once they get a permanent residency, and then they bring their families afterwards, right? That's still, to this day, like this is still real, right?
Yeah. So.
Some families, they do the same.
Yeah. So for my mom, she was sponsored by her older sister. At the time, there was 5 sisters, her brother, my grandma, and my grandpa, all here in Canada. My grandma and grandpa obviously passed. They moved back to the Philippines with her younger brother. They've all now passed away. Her younger brother just recently passed away. So right now it's my mom and her 4 other sisters. They all still live in East Van. They all meet up every Friday together.
Already answered that question, but other than just working, having 1 or 2 or more jobs, what are the other memories you have of your parents facing, some of the first generation immigrant challenges? Like, what are the other challenges that you remember?
Oh, that my parents faced or that I faced?
Their parents faced.
I think specifically for my dad, trying to understand what it was like to raise a family in the Western world. I think he had very traditional ideas with who was supposed to do what in the family. I was the older daughter, so there was an expectation of me being almost like a second mom.
Taking care of your younger sister.
Yeah, and younger brother. So there was that expectation.
Brother?
Yeah,
Okay.
Younger brother. There was also the expectation of me being submissive, obedient, quiet.
Saying yes.
And I'm not. I'm very opinionated. I very much kind of like to learn things my own way. Yeah.
So even though part of the family being here before them, it was not necessarily easier for them. Like they came with these traditional ideas. What about the other family members? Did they have the same kind of mindset? Because they were had been living in Vancouver for a few years?
I'm not honest. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if they were more, well, no. I would say that my cousin, so my mom's sister, their family, I think they were a little bit more progressive in the way that,
Open-minded.
yeah, a little bit more open-minded. Yeah. Yeah.
But that didn't change the way your parents.
Oh, no. No, because my dad ran our household. So even if my mom wanted to, she had to follow my dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by traditional, maybe misogynistic a little bit too. Yeah.
So you're Filipino Canadian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you seem to be very proud to have grown up in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
What are your core memories growing up in East Van, to be more specific?
Mm-hmm. Well, I will admit, me being proud to be a true Vancouverite, born and raised in East Van, that has never left me. Where if we're talking about me being proudly Filipino, that's very much a new thing for me, maybe within the last 5 years. So and
that's
even
recent.
very recent. Even my oldest friends who I grew up with, I've known since I was 12 years old. And we were best of friends and we grew up 20s, 30s. They still up to date today. They call me out. They're like, you're so pro Filipino, but not that long ago you were very much anti-Filipino, and I was. I avoided the Filipino community for almost half my life for like 20 years.
Specific reason for that?
Yeah, there's a lot of toxicity within the Filipino community. Very much so. Yeah. Oh yeah. Whether it's
What can you tell about it?
yeah,
I've
I know. I mean,
heard about it.
we're a very beloved culture. We are beloved because we do take care of people. We take care of other people really well. And we do our best when it comes to taking care of our own. But there's a lot of toxicity in terms of clout chasing, crab bucket mentality. So yeah, there was a lot of that I grew up with that I was like, ew. So I actually was very much anti-Filipino. So much so that, in my 20s, I would brag, yeah, all my friends are Caucasian.
They're all white.
I'm the only Filipino that, as if it's some sort of flex. But I was very much proud to not have that many Filipino friends.
I kind of relate to you because we've had similar experience back when I was especially when I was a young kid. So I kind of get what you're saying now.
Yeah. I don't know if I was being a pick me or I don't know if it was cool. I don't know. I don't know what was driving me behind that, but it is what it is. That's what I did. It wasn't until I had my first child where the thought of, okay, so my child is half Caucasian and half Filipino. You're half of me. And there is nothing that I can teach you about me because I've avoided.
About my background, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Or your background.
My background, my Filipino background. So that was where it started. Those first initial seeds were planted. And then 2020 happened. We were all indoors, COVID, and everything that came about after George Floyd, white supremacy, the systems that were in place. That's when I really started to dive deeper into my Filipino culture and finding the pride in who I am. So now I've done a complete 180, and anything that we can be involved with in terms of the Filipino community in Vancouver, I'm like front row center.
You're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah, I am. So I have a lot of learning and I have a lot of making up to do, but any way to have my children be fully immersed into the Filipino community and Filipino culture, yeah, I'm there. We're there.
I love that you got some old photos on your social media.
Oh, great. What did you find?
My favorite one is David has your photo there.
Yeah.
I wish we could see more of that because this is
Yeah.
just zooming you.
Yeah.
Already answered that question somehow, but did you have other Filipino friends at school?
Yeah. Okay. So weirdly enough, I grew up in Mount Pleasant. The first school I went to was St. Pat's. At the time, in the early 80s, I think it was 90% Filipino. So I
Really?
grew up around Filipinos all the time. Every year there was Filipino Day held at Plaza of Nations, and it was the one day that we would all see everybody, the whole Filipino community. And
Was
it the
Mount
one-
Pleasant like a Filipino neighborhood?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, yeah, St. Pat's, I mean, yeah, 90% were Filipino. So I didn't grow up feeling like I was the odd one out. I literally was raised within the Filipino community for the first 10 years of my life. Then my parents, we moved to Burnaby, and that was a bit different. So we moved to Burnaby for 3 years. And there I went to St. Francis de Sales, where it was primarily Caucasian. It was the only.
So that's when you started to refuse. So
Don't know.
some of your background and
Maybe a little
starting to
bit.
have more white people around you.
Maybe a little bit. That's where it was introduced. And then we moved back to East Van after 3 years, and I went to Notre Dame. And at the time, it was primarily Caucasian, so Italians.
Other Asian kids? Did you
There were
get
other
along
Asian-
with other
Um,
Asian kids?
yes and no. I was a bit of a loner. I was a loner slash social butterfly. So I didn't have a core group of friends in high school. I was just kind of like doing my own thing. It wasn't until maybe about grade 11.
So I suspect you were not interested in other Asian culture heritage.
No, not in high school.
Not really.
No. No.
I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about Filipino traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me some of them? Some of your family traditions?
Ooh, Filipino traditions. Well, I mean, it's no secret that Christmas is like the big thing. Start celebrating once.
It's not Halloween, right?
Yeah, no, we start celebrating in September, or we call it the Burr months. So September 1st that's when we start preparing for Christmas. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, decorating, parties, gatherings, like that's just huge. That and New Year's. New Year's is also like a huge.
Christmas is the main
Christmas is the main.
event
Oh yeah,
of the year.
yeah, yeah. Celebrate it for like 3 months. Yeah, and then New Year's is also massive. I mean, I've only been to the Philippines once. I was 8 years old, and even though that was 30 plus years ago, almost 40 years ago, New Year's, that event in the Philippines has always stayed with me. Yeah, and it's something that I want my kids to experience.
The only tradition I knew before is that the singing is one of them, right? It's a big one.
Yep.
Is it something that you can find in every Filipino household?
Oh yeah.
Is it present?
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why you grew up having this desire for dancing and singing, right?
Well, yeah, because
That's the main reason. There,
yeah,
actually.
I mean, it was introduced to me really early on.
Early on. Yeah, when you were like a young kid.
Yeah, I was singing at weddings, talent shows. My sister was singing at talent shows, weddings. You know, it was how we were raised. My dad was a drummer. My mom was a singer. She also played guitar and piano. So yeah, it was maybe almost genetic.
It's not really an option. The way you're saying, it's
No.
not really, you can't.
Nope. Yeah, I did choir all through high school. My sister still sings. Yeah. And before I became DJ, I was fully heavy into dance.
How did you turn your passion for singing and dancing into a DJ career?
Oh,
What made you say, I really like this DJ thing? Can you walk us through that?
well, in high school, I was deeply into dance. And I think that was the first time I was introduced to DJing. so like through mutual friends. So there's a lot of like working DJs now within Vancouver and even internationally that are from Vancouver. And so I grew up with them. So I was always around DJs. And in 2005 was the very first time that I decided to dabble in it a little bit just to try. And then I took a 15-year break because life happens. And then again, when you're stuck at home during COVID, why not?
I'm not trying
You have
again.
nothing else to do. Yeah. So that's when I tried. So yeah, I've been around DJs almost my whole entire life as well. So yeah, starting in high school.
Do you have a mentor when you started out as a DJ?
Yeah, I did. So DJ Blessed Lynn, she was my very first mentor when it came to DJing. She was like my very first like cheerleader. She was like, you should do this, you can do this. Because at the time I was just dancing. I was just, and she's like, you can do this. And yeah, now she DJs all over. She's, I think, out of New York now, and she DJs all over. Her and Nina Mendoza is definitely someone that I look up to, and she's also quite successful DJ in her own right as well. Yeah.
Did you also go to is there any DJ school?
Yeah, there
in
is.
Vancouver?
Yeah. So Table Tutors run by DJ Relic or Relly. He's also someone that I grew up watching for a really long time. Yeah, so Table Tutors, they're in Vancouver, and they offer a DJ school. Yeah. And there's a lot of events that happen within Vancouver where you will see that Table Tutors is providing the DJs for the event. Mm-hmm.
What is your artistic name?
Tender V?
Yeah. Why did you choose Tender?
I didn't choose it. It chose me, honestly.
It chose you.
Yeah. So
Tell me about it.
So my full name is Christi-Ann. And in a yearbook one year, a friend of mine wrote, to Crispy Ham, one of my best friends never wants to be outdone. So she wrote in my yearbook, Tender Beef. And that, for some reason, has just always stuck. She calls me TB for short. She doesn't call me Christy or Christi-Ann. She calls me Tender, and I will respond. It's literally my name now. Her kids call me Auntie Tender.
But that was your sort of your nickname at the time.
My
nickname or
only by her.
Only by her.
Only by her, but it's just stuck. It just has. So yeah, so I just kind of ran with it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty. It's a pretty unforgettable name. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not easy to forget.
No. And easy to spell too.
How would you describe your music? Because I know I've heard that you have you mix. It's a mix, right? You have some of the original Filipino music.
Yeah. OPM.
What is? I've never, I don't know any original Filipino music. Can you?
So basically, it's just music from the Philippines. Original OPM
Right.
is original music from the
Sang by Filipino artists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the music that I primarily play is Chicago house, soulful house. That's what I most enjoy playing. I do also play hip hop from time to time. And another form of music that I love playing is yacht rock. So I'll sprinkle all of that in together.
But when you're performing, there's always some of the Filipino.
Yeah. Oh, I will
music,
throw in.
for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will throw in a few OPM songs with every set that I play. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to, share the knowledge.
How is the house DJ industry in Vancouver? Is it mainly dominated by men?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
White men?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Definitely.
Because
yeah.
I think it's a sort of a global thing, right? It's everywhere.
Yeah. Specifically for house, I know that with hip hop, there's always been female DJs. I mean, if you think of Salt and Pepper, Spinderella, and so I I find that hip hop has been a little bit more open with female DJs. Not to say that there aren't any female DJs in the house scene too. There's like Sam Divine and Honey Dijon, and but if we're talking about Vancouver specifically, I know there's a lot of amazing female house DJs trying to be able to play events is a little bit harder. So if we're talking about the Vancouver nightlife as a whole, it's primarily hip hop. That's fine. So the spaces for house is very limited. And with the limited spaces for house, most of them are already established by men, particularly white men. So yeah, it's a little hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask what are the obstacles you have encountered being an Asian woman on this DJ journey?
Yeah.
That's one of them for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because, our nightlife isn't that large. There aren't the difficulty is finding the spaces. So we have to provide the spaces for us. But Vancouver's difficult to to not only find the space, but start the spaces. But I see it within the house music, house dance scene that it is existent. And there are people coming up. There's female house DJs and like even male non-white DJs that are trying to forge a lane for there to be events that house music is played at. But it's not that easy to come by.
Is that the reason you wanted to? Who had that great idea of forming that group of Filipino DJs? Is that?
Oh, that we just fell into it, honestly. So Gerald, he's also he's 1/3 of Wild Thing DJs. I've been watching him DJ for a really long time. I know he's been DJing since like the late 90s, and we had mutual friends. And at the time, I was just starting out, and I was playing at a restaurant, and had expressed that like I just love house music. And with him, I just thought he played hip hop, but we had a discussion. He's like, "Oh my God, I love house music. Can I guest with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally." So he came and guested with me, and he was telling me that his first love actually was house music. I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome." And yeah, I've known him since like the early 2000s too. And then through social media, when I would play at this restaurant, our third, Wacky, he actually came and watched me at the restaurant one time. I didn't know he was there, but he DM'd me on Instagram being like, "I really liked your music, blah, 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 this and that." And then I kind of crept him on his Instagram and learned that he was a DJ. And so I just invited him. I was like, "Oh, I see you're not from here. You're from the Philippines. Do you want to come guest with me one day?" And so he did. And one day we were all at the restaurant. I was like, "Let's all play together." And we just had a really good time, and we just kind of like fell into it. We're like, "Oh, why don't we just DJ together?" It had nothing to do with them being Filipino, and nothing to do with us playing house music. Just like we genuinely had so much fun playing with each other, and we just like organically developed this collective.
So you haven't had that discussion like we're all Filipinos, baby?
No, that was not that wasn't a thing. It just so happened to be that we were.
Okay.
It wasn't like a conscious thing, like, "Oh, I'm only going to play with you because you're Filipino." No, it was purely off of musical interests and just how we got along, and just went off of vibes, honestly. I know it sounds really, but yeah.
Yeah, although it's difficult for you to find more places, more opportunities to show your art as a DJ, you still get the chance to be a part of many Filipino festivals, right? Performing your live sets, celebrating Filipino culture, heritage, and everything at the same time, right? But was during one of these beautiful celebrations that you probably went through probably the worst time in your life, and you and your son were one of the victims from the April 26th Lapu Lapu Day tragedy. I don't want you to go through, we talked about it. I don't want you to go through all the details. But can you briefly explain what happened on that tragic day?
Oh, briefly. I don't know if I could do it briefly. Well, it was a pretty special day that we worked really hard for. So I helped out organizing the event as well. I was on the production team. So with the 3 stages, all of the acts, the schedule, and all that stuff, I was on the team that organized it. So this is our second year. I also helped with their initial year as well, just being an entertainer at the time. So 2024, first year. And then I was brought on to organize this year, to help organize this year. So we met every week, just got to see from the beginning stages to like the progress in what we were able to accomplish, like who we were reaching out to, contract, like all of that stuff from behind the scenes. And then seeing it to come to fruition was just really, really special. It's like, look at all the work that we did. I also kind of was in charge of the breakdance competition that happened at one of the stages. So, you know, I knew the work that went into like, you know, reaching out to the judges and the DJs and
lot
like
of work.
the dancers and like, are you guys able to cut? Yeah. So it's a lot of work. And then also too, just, you know, as a mom, selfishly just providing a space for my son to compete at, you know, like that's me being the supportive mom. And then I was also one of the performers as well. I DJ'd on the main stage. So yeah, after the breakdance competition, my son and I went to the big stage, watched Black Eyed Peas. Amazing seeing the sea of like Filipinos, and we were backstage because I have backstage passes, obviously. So watching him, watch everyone enjoying, and just like he was pretending he was a cameraman and he was, you know, filming all this stuff. Like it was just like a really special day, and just, you know, it was a beautiful day. Seeing the community come out, it was really, 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 really what, like I can't stress this enough because although it was tragic, I always say that it really was a beautiful day for a lot of people. And you know, we were nearing the end of the day, and my son, we were walking back to the car, and he was like, "Well, I never checked out any of the food trucks. Can we go check out the food trucks?" I was like, okay, fine. But one last stop because it's been a long day. I'm tired.
You want to go home.
Want to go home. And so he wanted to check out these mochi toasts. And then coincidentally, 3 other members of my production team were also there. And so we were just kind of like, okay, next week, let's have a powwow. We're going to talk about like what we can do better for next year. And we were like super excited. We were really happy. Took a photo, and literally the timestamp on that photo that was taken of all of us, that's when the crash occurred. Yeah. I was conscious through everything. I remember the only thing that I was able to process was this was some sort of crash. The sounds of like metal and screeching, but yeah, a little bit surreal just like even thinking about it now. But yeah, I got hit, landed on my side, remember thinking I was in a lot of pain, just really uncomfortable, and then rolled onto my back. And so all I saw was the sky.
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode, please consider subscribing. It helps this channel grow and get recommended to more people. Thank you so much. Back to the episode. Yeah, we talked about it before, but I do want to ask you that question because we have my son and your son. They're pretty much the same age.
Yep.
How did you feel when you first saw your son and you realized that he was okay, he was alive?
Well, I didn't. So with the impact, we were separated. And this is now from little bits and pieces of other victims that have told me what has happened. I think for me, the scariest part wasn't what was happening with me, what was going on with me. The scariest part of that night was thinking that I lost my child. There was another victim very close to me. Like, I reached out with my arm and I was able to touch this small person. And I remember people above me, they kept saying, don't stop doing CPR. She has no pulse. But at the time, like Knox, he still does. He has shoulder length hair and he gets mistaken for a girl all the time. So that was the scariest part of that whole entire night, was thinking that they were taking care of Knox, that he wasn't breathing, that he didn't have a pulse. That terrified me. I remember pleading with the person that was helping me, like, is this my son? I was crying. I was just terrified, scared. Just the thought that my son is gone. Even for any parent, even just for like a split second, thinking that your child is gone. That's the hardest part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But weirdest timing, but right as I was like feeling like, honestly, like giving up, because what was the point anymore? A friend of mine saw me and she was like, Christy, I have Knox. He's okay. And it took me a minute to just understand what she was saying. She's like, no, he's okay. Don't worry about him. I have him. He's okay. So I just kind of had to take a minute to believe what she was telling me. And then just knowing that he was with someone that I have known since I was 16, that he was with someone that he knows, that I could trust them, he could trust me. And I just kind of was just like, I kind of let those thoughts leave.
Yeah, thanks for answering that question. Because, again, as a parent, I will probably do the same. I will just not even care about myself.
No,
And
it was never about me. Yeah.
No, making sure that my son is okay.
Yeah.
That be you.
There have been times, I think every parent has been through this experience where they think they've lost their kid, like whether in the mall or in the store or whatever. Even just that split second of being like, I lost my kid, like I can't see them. Like, you imagine how that feels, right? But then pivot that to imagine thinking that you've lost, like they're not breathing, that they're gone. It's like, that's the only way that I can describe it, is that if you've lost your kid in the mall, that's like a tenth of what I was feeling, believing that my child had died.
Can you tell me your experience receiving all the love and support from so many people, not only, especially the Filipino community, but not only from the Filipino community, right? Everyone was like touched by it. And tell me about your experience, because I think you've never gone through that, right, before.
No, I've never broken a bone in my
not
body.
Not that scale, I mean.
Yeah. Being in the hospital and I was prepared to be there for a few months because I just didn't know. And my sister, I remember like the next day, literally the following day, she was like, you are allowed to have visitors. Are you okay to have visitors? I was like, yeah, no hesitation. Like, yeah, I want to see people. She's like, are you sure? She's like, because I would never. I was like, yeah, but I'm a different person. I know I'm a bit of an extroverted person. I love to receive, I don't know. I just know who I am. And I know being around people that love and support me definitely was something that I needed. So, yeah, the next day it was just like a steady stream of like, mind you, my sister was definitely gatekeeping. So she would run names by me first. And I pretty much said yes to everybody because I knew they were there to see me, to check up on me, to make sure that I was okay. Yeah.
Yeah, before we started, I was asking you because you went through a surgery 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you were saying that the mental health is key for your recovery process, right?
Yeah.
And having people that you love
Yeah.
around you, that's key for
Yeah.
your
I think it's,
mental health.
Yeah. In the 6 months of my recovery since Lapu Lapu, I've discovered it's three main things. Very early on, while I was still in the hospital, I just approached everything with gratitude. So knowing that in terms of like what injuries I had, I had a huge laceration to my head. I was bleeding and all just, I was still alive. I didn't lose my mind. I didn't need surgery. I'm still here. My son is still here. So just everything was rooted in gratitude because things could have been so much more worse. That is not lost on me. Because after I got hit and rolled onto my back and I was only able to see the sky, I didn't see the trauma around me. Not to say that my physical trauma isn't a form of trauma, but because I didn't see anything, I'm not suffering from PTSD. So I'm grateful for that as well. So that's number one, I feel, is what's helped me with my recovery. Number two is being surrounded by people who genuinely care and love me. Like that energy is definitely helped with my recovery. And then number three is doing something that I love, which is playing music and DJing and stuff. So, yeah.
What's the importance of having Filipino BC representing Filipino community, specifically for this strategy? Like, what's the importance of having that, someone representing you guys?
Yeah, and they are continuing to advocate for us. I mean, yes, there's a number of other Filipino groups out there and saying they're for the community. But at the end of the day, and I know that how much they've done for me, for my family, how they're continuing to do other work to help other families. I know there isn't a lot of information out there. There's a lot of assumptions, maybe willful ignorance. But because we're victims, our stories are supposed to be confidential. So that needs to be said. But in terms of asking the government, when you're considering your budget for the new year, there are these victims that need financial help. There's so many of us that are struggling right now. We're struggling. Like we just talked about at the beginning, Vancouver's not a cheap place to live in, And so if we're talking about people not working, people unable to work, people still recovering, PTSD, injuries, physical, other people being the main caretakers of other people, there's just, all of it is starting to add up. And I understand that nothing like this has ever happened in Vancouver before. So there isn't a blueprint. So we're just kind of, taking it day by day, trial and error, trying to do the best we can. So having Filipino BC advocate for us, asking the government, hey, these are your people, they need help. And they're continuing to fight for the Filipino community, I think is huge. And I don't think that should be overlooked.
Yeah, that makes the whole difference, right?
Yeah.
For you guys, because you don't have to struggle. You know that Filipino BC will be there for you guys.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah,
they have been. Whatever criticisms or assumptions that other people have, I do find that it is coming from people that have no idea. There's a lot of criticisms coming from people that aren't actually victims, or they haven't done enough research or work But also at the same time, like I said, victim stories are confidential. So, what you think you know, you probably don't.
Christy,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this episode to be over because I really enjoy having you today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm going to say that again. I think you have a beautiful smile.
Oh,
That's your...
Thanks.
You are an example of resilience, for sure.
Yeah.
You are a hardworking mom trying to be a better version of your parents. And I'm sure that you represent so many Asian women out there. So my final question is, what makes you proud to be Asian?
Oh, what makes me proud to be Asian? I think you touched upon a lot of it already. We are hardworking. We are resilient, almost to a fault. I mean, Filipinos, that's the number one descriptor. We're resilient people. Well, yeah, but we need to stop glorifying it. I mean, we also need help. We can't just keep pushing through. But we like to take care of our people. And I don't mean even Filipinos. I just mean like Asians
In general.
In general. We like to take care of our own people. We like to take care of each other. And I think through all different Asian cultures, that seems to be like a very, very common thread. We all like to take care of our own. So that's definitely something I'm proud of. I mean, I've seen it firsthand with how many people have taken care of me. So,
Can I give you a hug?
yeah, of course.